I'm 33 and run a custom motorcycle restoration shop. It's not just any garage. We specialize in vintage Harleys, rare European models, 1970s Triumphs, and 1950s Panheads. Work that smells like oil and legacy. Not glamorous, not millions, but it pays well and feeds my soul. I'm one of the lucky ones. I get to make a living doing what I love. I met Jessica, 29, at a coffee shop. What started as casual conversation over espresso turned into something real. Or at least it felt that way. We hit it off quick. She seemed genuinely curious about my shop, asked about the restoration process, even visited a few times to see bikes mid-transformation. I thought it meant something. I thought she meant something. Her background? Very different. Upper middle class. Both parents CPAs. Success for them came in press suits and steady stock growth. Her mom, Linda, was always polite but distant, like she was being graded on how well she tolerated me. She asked about my business plan like I was pitching on Shark Tank and wanted to know if I ever planned on scaling. Never rude, just disapproving in the most subtle, cutting way. Sunday dinners at her parents' house became a thing around 6 months in. Linda cooked gourmet. Tom talked investments. Honestly, I didn't mind. The food was good, and Tom was sharp. Jessica seemed happy having me there, and I convinced myself Linda's coolness would thaw eventually. Last Sunday started off normal. We got there around 2 p.m. Help was setting the table. Around 4, Jessica got a FaceTime from her old college roommate, Sarah, who'd moved to Portland. Jessica lit up. "Oh my God, Sarah, I haven't talked to you in forever." She took the call into the living room while Tom and I cleared the dishes. I heard them laughing, reminiscing. Then Jessica called out, "Mom, come here. Sarah wants to say hi to you too." I went into the hallway to grab my jacket. That's when I heard it. Jessica's voice dropped, but not enough. "Oh, him? He's sweet, but don't worry, Mom. I'm just having fun. I'd never actually marry a mechanic." Linda laughed, almost relieved. "Good. I was starting to worry you were getting serious. Can you imagine bringing a grease monkey to my company events?" Jessica's reply? "He's fine for now, but I'm not stupid." I stood there, silent in the hallway, jacket in hand. They didn't know I was behind them. She sat on the couch facing away. Linda in the armchair, relaxed. And me? I felt no anger, just clarity, like a light switch flipped, like the truth had been waiting behind a curtain the whole time, and someone finally pulled it open. I walked calmly back into the kitchen and told Tom I had to head out early. Something about a last-minute job at the shop. Then I left through the back door, got in my truck, and drove home. The rest of Sunday was quiet. No rage, no heartbreak, just realization. 15 months. That's how long I'd been Jessica's part-time boyfriend and full-time placeholder. She played house while waiting for someone she thought was better. I was good for dinner photos and light car repairs, but not good enough for long-term plans. She'd been keeping me warm while scouting for something shinier. Monday morning, I went to shop early, got to work rebuilding a 1972 Sportster engine. Nothing clears your head like machine work. Focus hands, humming tools, the scent of gasoline and grit. Around 10 a.m., Jessica texted, "Everything okay?" "Yeah, all good. Want to grab dinner tonight?" "Can't. Working late on the Sportster. Tomorrow then? This restoration's going to keep me busy for a while." She didn't push. Probably relieved I was creating space on my own. Charity case handling itself. By Wednesday, I started quietly pulling my stuff from her apartment. Basic tools I'd left behind. Socket sets, multimeter, jumper cables. Things I brought over to help when her car acted up or something needed fixing. Thursday, I updated my emergency contacts at the bank and insurance. Jessica had offered to be listed months back. Said it was just in case, since I didn't have family nearby. Felt like a gesture of closeness then. Now, it just felt like something I needed to undo. Friday morning, Linda called for the first time ever. "Hi, Mike. Jessica mentioned you two had some kind of disagreement." "What happened?" "Interesting. Jessica called it a disagreement, not a betrayal." "No disagreement," I said. "Everything's fine." Oh, we missed you at dinner last Sunday. You'll be coming this weekend, right? Actually, I'm going to be tied up with work for the foreseeable future. What? Why? Did we do something wrong? Nothing wrong, Linda. Just realized Sunday dinners don't work for my schedule anymore. I hung up before she could press further. That afternoon, Jessica came to the shop. She walked in while I was deep into reassembling the Sportster's engine. Mike, we need to talk. About what? You've been distant. My mom said you're not coming to dinner anymore. Are you ending things? I've been thinking, I said, wiping grease from my hands, about whether we're actually compatible for the long haul. She frowned, visibly irritated like I'd just disrupted her routine. Of course we are. We've been together over a year. Have we been together, or have you just been keeping me around until someone better shows up? Her expression shifted. Mike, I don't know what you think you heard. I heard exactly what you said to your mom on Sunday. She went pale. That wasn't... I didn't mean it how it sounded. Really? How did you mean calling me a grease monkey? Telling her you'd never marry a mechanic? I was just trying to manage her expectations. She's been pressuring me and I... No, Jessica, you weren't pressured. You were honest. That was the real you. I was caught off guard. I didn't mean to hurt you. You didn't hurt me. You helped me see the truth. And I'm not interested in being someone's temporary stand-in. She left crying, spent the weekend texting, apologizing, explaining. I didn't respond. Sunday, Linda called again. When I told her what I'd heard, there was a long pause. Then she said she remembered the call and thought Jessica was just speaking hypothetically. I explained. Jessica wasn't speaking hypothetically. She was speaking about me. That's why I wasn't coming back. That evening, Jessica showed up at my apartment, asking me to listen. I told her she should find herself a nice accountant, someone her mom could comfortably bring to company parties. For days passed. She left flowers. Notes came by the shop. Her friends started messaging me, calling me stubborn. But this wasn't a slip of the tongue. This was her actual belief system spilling out when she thought I couldn't hear it. 1 week later, the damage control campaign kicked in. Predictable. Jessica told everyone I'd overreacted. Her friend Chloe showed up trying to guilt-trip me about throwing away a good relationship over nothing. I asked her if I'd never actually married a mechanic. Sounded like nothing to her. Or a grease monkey. Tuesday, Linda called again. Apologized. Said she'd spoken to Jessica and didn't buy the parental pressure excuse. She admitted she judged me unfairly. Said she'd looked into motorcycle restoration and had been wrong to assume. Then she surprised me. She invited me to Sunday dinner without Jessica. Wednesday, Jessica escalated. Showed up with Linda. Recycled the pressure excuse. But this time, Linda wasn't playing along. She cut in and said, I've never told you who to date. This is on you. It changed everything. Linda saw her daughter's character clearly, maybe for the first time. Friday was Jessica's last-ditch effort. She came to my shop with a ring box. Proposed, right there on the concrete floor, next to a half-finished Ducati frame. I asked her a simple question. Which version of you is real? The one who said you'd never marry a mechanic 2 weeks ago, or the one proposing to one today? She had no answer, just tears. She left with the ring still in her hand. A month later, I had dinner with Tom and Linda. No, Jessica. It was calm, comfortable. Linda pulled me aside after dessert and said she respected how I handled everything. Not with bitterness, not with revenge, just quiet dignity. That respect from her parents, especially after I'd ended things with their daughter, felt like its own kind of justice. Jessica made one final attempt, offered to invest in my shop. I told her you don't get to buy respect after pretending to have it for 15 months. The family dynamic shifted. Whenever she tried playing the victim at gatherings, Linda shut it down. You said what you said, and Mike has every right to move on. Tom's even been referring clients to me, calling me a skilled craftsman his daughter never appreciated. The shop's doing great. New projects coming in. Word of mouth spreading. I'm dating someone new now. Sarah. She's a nurse. Rides her own Restore Honda. First time I told her what I did, Her eyes lit up. She wanted to see the shop, ask questions about engines, wanted to know the difference between shovelheads and knuckleheads. Not status, not performance, just real interest. Last week, Jessica texted, "I heard you're seeing someone. I hope you're happy." I am. I'm happy with someone who respects what I do, not someone who merely tolerates it. This was a revenge. I didn't have to plan anything. All I did was walk away and let her own words carry the weight. She wanted a placeholder until someone better came along. Instead, she lost a solid relationship and fractured her standing with her own family. I restore machines built by hands and heart. For people who value craftsmanship, always have, always will. Jessica never changed that. She just reminded me she was never meant to be part of it.